But when you are like, what do I want? And how can I get what I want, giving others what they want? So it sounds transactional, but what it is reciprocal. And there's a difference between transactional and reciprocal. Do you know what it feels like to build the world's largest global barber network offering mental health and money systems? Neither do I. I'm really trying to get in touch with my feelings. Like, what do I feel right now? And I don't know. I'm really in my head. It's like think, 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 think. It's a lot of thinking. And this is my way. Like I'm typically in my head and not in my feelings, but that's how I have managed to get through life a little bit unscathed. I think people around me have gotten hurt a lot in their lives, and they have these like really sad stories about all the hurt that they've experienced. And I don't have a lot of those stories. And I think it's because I lead with logic, and a lot of what I do is based on logic. The same is true for what I'm doing with this barber business. And so, but there is a part of me, like the emotional side of me, that is drawing me back into the shop. However, I don't want to live in one place. I want to live in two or three different places. I want to live in one place and work in another. Let's say that. So I'd love to live in the south of France, but it looks like it's going to end up being maybe Spain. The south of France has just been like really difficult to get the visa process going. And Amsterdam is looking like a possibility, but I don't want to live in Amsterdam, and really no energy there for me. So let's just say Europe. So Europe is a possibility of where I may want to live, but not where I want to work. And there's two reasons for that. Will come. I might as well just tell you now. So taxes wise, I'm already going to have to pay US taxes. So where I work is probably going to be somewhere that has is a lot more tax friendly, which right now I'm looking at Dubai, because that's also the place that has been very open. And I just realized I have a vase here. I put my flowers in a plastic bottle. It was not really cute, but I just saw a vase and I'm like, oh, dang, I can put my, you'll see, I'll show you. So next video. Anyway, so the way that Dubai works is they, I think they just love business. And so they make it really friendly. So I think I'll be living in Europe and working in UAE. And then I will visit the United States because that's where my family is. However, I did decide that I would get my family to come to me more often, because this last time I felt a little bit disappointed. And I talked about it in the last video. I ended the last video saying that my relationships in Nice are so good. They're so intact. They are so easy. And both Nice and my Dubai friends and Abu Dhabi friends, they prioritize relationships. And when I look at the seven prosperity pillars, wealth, health, recreation, or fun, reputation, time, location. So I forgot one. Did I say relationships? I think I didn't say relationships. So wealth, health, relationships, recreation or fun, reputation, the legacy you want to leave, your time and your location. So when I look at that, a lot of times money comes first. And for many people, getting their money goal hitting their money goal affects all the other ones. There is, interestingly enough, I feel like my Dubai UAE friends put money very high, but they put their relationships really close, like neck and neck. Second, it's like probably why they have so much money is because they pour so much into their relationships, and they're so generous that it ends up feeding that part of their prosperity pillar as well. So the money and the relationships, and then the recreation. So sometimes the money comes first, and they're not having as much fun, but they have fun making money. They have fun in their relationships. So it kind of spills over into that bucket too. So you see how they put money first, they put relationships first. They, like they kind of toggle between first and second, and then the fun, the recreation, just kind of comes out after that. Then you look at their reputation, but because they put so much time and energy into their reputation, but also into their wealth, probably professionally, their reputation is strong, solid, it is intact. And then their health. So maybe somehow, because they have money, they can pay for good food, and health is just a natural part of their life. Maybe because of their relationships, they are able to have good health, because in the blue zones, when the National Geographic did that study, relationships was a big part of health. And so then the time and location. Now, where they fail in UAE, but they excel here in Nice, is time. They seem to have more time than everyone else has in Nice. Now, I will tell you, in the summertime, the sun rises around 6 a.m. and does not set until close to 10 p.m. So that gives you a lot of day to do things, but they just seem to have more time, and they pour a lot of that time into their relationships and their recreation. Now, here in these, recreation seems to be the highest, and money seems to be like third. And you can tell nobody seems to be poor. Not anyone I know. I'm sure there are poor people here. Nobody seems to be poor, but none of them are millionaires either. But they have a rich life, a rich life. So what does that have to do with me and how I'm building in public? I have a long list here. So if I don't get through this whole list today, I'll just make another video. And I said that last time. I want to start with something I said at the end of the last video, and that is, in the US, I feel like people are obligated. I think that was the word I was looking for. And they are keeping up appearances. And that can be stressful. When you are asking yourself, what do they want from me? What do they want from me? What do they want from me? Then, and then you're acting on that. I'm just going to write that down, um, because I need to do another video specifically on that. So when you're thinking about what do they want from me, what do they want from me, what do they want from me, and that's guiding your decision making rather than what you want for yourself, then at the end you end up feeling empty and unfulfilled, and maybe even regretful and resentful. So it doesn't come off the same way. But when you are like, what do I want, and how can I get what I want, giving others what they want? So it sounds transactional, but what it is reciprocal. And there's a difference between transactional and reciprocal. Now, today, right now, it feels like a What Keeps You Up at Night podcast, not a building in public. So I'm just going to say this last thing, and then I'm going to actually make a whole video about this. But transactional is like, really you focus on what you're getting. The other person might or may not get what they need. You don't care. It's just a transaction to you. And it doesn't go much further than that. Reciprocity is like that win-win, making sure, what do you want? You get what you want, I get what I want. Those are two different things. When you are giving someone what they want and they are giving you what you want, that is reciprocity. And also, when this cycle just continues, it's not a this way, it's not a here, hand to hand. It's more like just cyclical. It just happens. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. It just keeps happening. And once it's fueled and once it's already happening, it keeps happening. But you're going to run into transactions when you are looking for reciprocal relationships. And I have, but I know the difference, and I know when they are needed. I know when a transactional relationship is needed, and I know when a reciprocal relationship is needed. And I have been experiencing that a lot this summer. And I just spent some time with my friend in the hospital, and I realized the relationship that I have with her is very reciprocal. She is very generous and kind, and I am as well. And that is what I have in my life right now, a lot of generous and kind people. And so let's see if I can run through a couple of things because it's already been 9 minutes. And no, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it here. And this list that I have, I will go through because this was a different kind of build in public episode. And I think I need to leave it like that, where I'm just sharing with you some information that I've learned along the way, not necessarily tasks and steps and work that I have done. But I will tell you that in this search for reciprocity, I realized that that's what self sync needs to be. That's what the work that I do with barbers needs to be. That's also, barbers will be my clients, but they will also be referring clients to me. So that's also the relationship that needs to happen in the retreat center. And so, whether it's the self sync studio, is what I'm calling like when you come in for one day or a couple hours and leave. And self sync suites is when you come in and sleep there, do a retreat for at least 2 days, or you can do the longer 5 day. And there's something inside of me that keeps wanting to be in the shop again, but there's also something inside of me that's don't do it, don't do it, because it will draw me in, and it gets really hard to get out once you get in. So I'm taking my time to do that, but I'm going to end this video here now. I'm forcing myself. Okay, I'll be back though. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back.